What's up, basketball fans? Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. We are the Fantasy NBA. Today, we've got a two-parter for you here. We're here hitting you on Wednesday. We're going to hit you on Thursday with the second part of this. We're going to get into second-year players, 8-cat rankings, and look at how they did versus their first year and where they're going. So it is Cam, it is Doc. And before we dive in, I want to tell you about our incredible sponsor, Bet Online. Have you been using Bet Online? Have you been monetizing and commoditizing yourself with Bet Online? You should be. You got vibes. You're smart, right? Get on Bet Online. They're the world's most trusted betting platform. Your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season's in full swing. Me and Doc are already bickering about it. We're in the home stretch for the NBA. The NHL playoffs are hot and popping. And Bet Online has more ways for you to stay in the action with the latest odds, the news, the scores. They've got live in-game betting, which I'm obsessed with right now, to be honest with you. They have the largest selection of odds in the biz on everything from the MLB, NHL, UFC. BetOnline remains your number one source online for all sports wagering information. And in between games, they've got you hooked up as well. Go over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. You're welcome. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, again, we're talking about second-year players here. From a fantasy perspective, of course, 8-cat per game ranking. These are players drafted in 2023, and we're not hating on Chet, but he's excluded from this conversation because of the missed year, and so we're just going to focus on guys drafted in 2023 and how they did here in their second year. And Doc, we're going to look at it from, was their season a disappointment or failure, and what do you expect from them next year? So let's start with Victor Wembanyama. ADP of number 2 and a ranking of number 2. Doc, was the season a disappointment or a failure?
It was not until the blood clot thing happened, and then now that's a whole different ballgame. So, I mean, I was really happy with what Victor was doing. Could he have been better? Probably. Could he have been worse? Certainly. Was Jokic the right pick over Embiid? Yes. But if you took I say Embiid, I meant Wemby. Jokic probably should have gone in front of Wemby. But if you took Wemby first when he was healthy, he was doing enough stuff that you were cool with it. You were happy with it. We've only scratched the surface with this guy's talent and all that. So I do not think it was a failure, but now there's a mystery and a cloud hanging over his head, and I don't know. I'm going to need more information this summer before I can actually rank him where he belongs to be drafted next year.
I don't believe I'm just kind of on the other side of this, Doc. The numbers were absolutely fantastic for Victor, but I think overall the season was a disappointment, and only because of the blood clots. But it was all happening for San Antonio. They were around a 500 team, very much in the play-in tournament mix, with the chance to be a whole lot better. And then you make the De'Aaron Fox trade, and you had the ascent of Stephon Castle. So Greg Popovich not been able to coach all year. So I guess I'm bringing in some other elements here, but that wasn't the season that I thought we were going to get from San Antonio. And it all got derailed with the blood clotting. And so it's no fault to anybody. This isn't a critical take. It's just an observation that was a disappointment. We lost Victor for the year. Dame coming back gives me a lot of optimism that Wemby's going to be able to come back from this. Oscar Thompson came back from it. And so I think Wemby's going to come back from it. I have no reason to believe that he's not. The stat line was incredible. 24, 11, and 4, 3.8 blocks, 1.3 steals, 3.1 threes. Again, that is the best fantasy gold combo in league history. Nobody's ever done that. He did it in 46 games. That's the problem. Nobody's ever gone 3.8 blocks, 3.1 threes. And we've been down this road with the never happen again thing. And Andre hit me with, well, Brook Lopez back in 2017 or whatever did it, right? Brook Lopez never averaged 3.8 blocks in a season. I know that. And I'm pretty damn sure he'd ever averaged 3.1 threes in a season. Okay. Porzingis hasn't done it. Miles Turner hasn't done it. Wemby's the only guy to do it. So what do I expect from him next season? I expect him to be healthy, and I expect him to kick ass and take names. But, Doc, I am not taking Wemby over Nikola Jokic next year because of the blood clotting. If that wasn't going on because of the fantasy gold, I would take Wemby over Jokic. But Jokic is about as safe a pick as there's ever been in fantasy sports history, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have weird stuff that shuts him down. He plays every night. And I mean, what Jokic did this season was incredible. Averaged a triple-double. He's a center. There's actually a debate about whether he or SGA are the MVP. So shout out to Jokic for proving me wrong, because I was all in on Wemby. And I probably will be again next year. Wemby's healthy and he's running around playing soccer with kids right now, and he's good to go. I'll stick with Wemby. I'll keep being a glutton for punishment.
That's good to see Wemby out there with kids and stuff like that. I haven't seen that video, but that's good to hear. All right, it is the Fantasy NBA today. Hello, Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. He is Dr. A. And we move on here. We're evaluating second-year players in fantasy based on their 8-cat per game ranking. And Brandin Miller came into the year with an ADP of 64, and it held up beautifully with a ranking of 60th. All right. And I'm going to give you a key stat here, Doc, for these guys, and then tee you up and let you go. My key stat for Brandin Miller: he improved his scoring from 17 points per game to 21. Pretty good hike. And, Doc, he made 3.9 threes on 10.9 3 attempts. And I didn't know that. I mean, he hasn't played in a million years, and I knew like he had probably 2.7 threes per game is probably what I would have guessed, right? 3.9, and he took 11 three balls per game. So was this season a disappointment, a failure, and take me into next year for him?
No, I mean, he didn't finish the season, right? But he lived up to what we wanted him to do when he was playing. Plays for a terrible team, but the thing is, he's no longer like a kid, right? He's going into year 3, and it's time for him to step up and lead, be the leader of a really bad team. Maybe LaMelo Ball will be so kind as to join him in that endeavor this year. But all I see when I think about Brandin Miller is upside with a low price tag. Like this kid, he's 22 years old. He's entering year 3, and the upside is so enormous. If he took that kind of a scoring jump last year, there's no reason he can't do it again this year. I mean, he could flirt with averaging 30 a game this year. And all those threes that he's firing, like that works for fantasy, and all the other numbers are going to fall into place because he's the best, second best player on a really crappy team. So I love Brandin Miller next year. I think, you should be able to get him in like fifth round. Like the most you would have to pay is 4th round, I think.
I don't know that he'll go that high. I mean,
I don't hear.
It's 60 last year. Like I'll just put it this way: I'm not going to be looking at Brandin Miller at that point in the draft because, Doc, you know me, I either want double guys with the points and assists or the points and the boards, and I'm not really looking for the 20.4 and 4 guys, or Brandin Miller's like a 4 rebound 3 assist guy, which is okay, and he's not so far big with the defensive stats. So I don't dislike Brandin Miller at all. I mean, obviously, I like him. We all like him. His stat set is just not really. It's a deeper in a draft stat set for me. It just is, and so he's probably going to be drafted earlier than I want to draft him. He did have surgery to repair a torn scapulinate ligament in his right wrist. I know I got that wrong, but he had surgery on his right wrist. That's his shooting hand. That could be a problem. I mean, I hope it's not. It probably will not be, but it could be. Was the season a success or a disappointment? I'm going to say success because games played. I mean, look, he blew a tire and didn't play and all that, which sucks. But 11 threes per game. That's a win. And to get the 4-point ascension with LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges there, I think it's all really, really good stuff, man. So I actually say, and especially based on no expectations, nobody really cares what Charlotte does on the court in reality. So, okay, Miller blew a tire. And I mean, who really cares? I mean, I wasn't invested in him, didn't have any shares of him. So for me, I was sort of unscathed, like a bystander looking at a car wreck, okay? And so I say it was a success based on the stat increases. Let's talk Amen Thompson, Doc. ADP of 116, and he doubled that up basically with an ADP, an 8-cat per game ranking of 67th. Key stat. The PRA, points, rebounds, and assists, 14, 8, and 4, really good. 1.3 blocks, 1.4 steals, and doubled his 3-point percentage, Doc, from 14% to 28%. Success or disappointment, and take me to next year for Amen.
Well, here's the thing. Brandon Miller, right, is a guy that, Brandon Miller's sitting there in the 6th round. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab him. Amen Thompson is a guy that you think to yourself, how high am I going to reach to get Amen Thompson? Because you talk about a buzzy player heading into next season, man. Everybody wants some Amen Thompson on their team. I traded you gave my dynasty team to Andre, and he's like, oh, I don't care about anything else about your team. It has Amen Thompson, and that's
Doc,
all I need to hear.
Straight. We got to get this straight. He picked your team. Okay. I did not give him your team. I just want the record to show he had 3 teams to choose from, and he picked your squad.
And he picked it because Amen Thompson is on it. That's the point. Like, Amen Thompson is going to be as buzzy as they come next year. He's going to be on everybody's list. And the question becomes for me, how high am I going to reach? And I'm probably going to reach pretty high. He turned what? He was top 70 this year, right? So he's going to be
correct.
He's going to be at least top 40 next year, I believe. I mean, I think he's going to play a full season of starters minutes and no more of this yo-yoing stuff. Maybe Fred VanVleet will be out of the way. That means more stuff for Amen. It was a huge success. He lived up to the hype, and it's only going to get better from here on in.
I agree with everything you said right there, Doc. We're big Amen Thompson guys and Osar Thompson guys. I fell in love with these guys in the pre-draft process, watching their video, G League Ignite or whatever the hell team they were on. Andre will be able to tell. I forget what dang team they were on. Some elite team, showcase team. I don't care. But I watched video of these guys, and so slithery, and then and so bouncy, whoa, what is happening? Osar Thompson had a baseline slam-a-jamma against the Knicks last night. Remember that little joint on the right side? It just went I think just power dribble, whoosh, and in between dudes. It was I love the Thompson twins. I love what they're made of. Did you know that their middle name is Excellence, but it's XLNC? That's their middle name, both of them. I think that's dope, okay? I don't know. I'm just a big fan of these guys. Now, they leave me hanging in the 3-ball. I guess we'll get to Osar in a minute. We're on Amen right now. At least Amen doubled his 3-point percentage from 14 to 28 at the start. Amen, we got to get that up to about 35, and then we'll be totally good. But you're right, Doc. Because he gives the defensive goodies. I mean, heck, he might be a 1.7 block, 1.8 steal guy. Can we get 2-2 Gerald Wallace, Hakeem Olajuwon style? It's extremely rare. I don't know. Probably not. But, Doc, this season was a huge success for Amen Thompson. And he may – Fred VanVleet with that game he had the other night against Golden State may have rescued his Rockets career, right? They lost, but he was sensational in that game. But yes, I expect a ton more from Amen Thompson next year. Doc, let's get into Toumani Camara. Once, and maybe still is, the forgotten man in fantasy basketball. that we called him at the beginning of last year when he was putting up goodies and he was like 10% rostered. Boop, what are you guys doing? Pick this guy up. Undrafted ADP, ended up with an 8-cat per game ranking of 101. Key stat, Doc. He went from 7 points to 11 points per game, hit 1.73 balls, and had 1.5 steals per game. Success, disappointment, take me to next year.
Well, I don't think there were many expectations at all on Camara coming in. So I think it was definitely a success. He played in 78 games. He was a machine out there. The lack of blocks. I think a lack of blocks for these guys or a lack of steals is a much bigger problem than a lack of threes, like talking about Amen Thompson and him. The thing about guys who don't hit threes, I'm not sure it matters as much as it used to because everybody else is hitting threes. Like all the big men hit threes, all the little dudes hit threes. So if I get one guy that doesn't really hit threes, I don't feel like it's going to ruin my plan. So I'm okay with Amen, taking care of his field goal percentage and not chucking a bunch of threes. Camara, though, just an under the radar kind of guy. Like I didn't really realize he was a third-year player coming into last season. I'm pretty sure that he was not being drafted in hardly any leagues except some of the crazy ones you and I play in. And, it was easy to root for Toumani Camara last season because he was doing stuff. And, we need these old guys out of the way, like Jeremy Grant, step aside, DeAndre Ayton, get out of the way and let Camara play because I think he could be a really good player.
Nobody loves uprooting veterans for young guys more than Dr. A in the history of the world. This guy will like uproot goats and like Hall of Famers to get young cats on the court, man. Dr. A, you're hilarious.
Bradley Beal out of my life. Get him out of the way. Kick him out of the league.
Like he just like DeAndre Ayton, still a relatively young guy. Get him out of the way. I mean, the DeAndre Ayton thing is so weird. But the Toumani Camara thing is not weird, okay? Like, he is here to stay. Guys, I got a key stat. I actually gave you the key stats. But I guess a key stat that I forgot. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But he started every game. Like, Andre, I don't know. I don't have his bio in front of me. But I looked at it this morning. It was like 73 games and started 73 games. That's huge. Like, he is a starting forward right now. Denny Abdi is going to be a starter next year. Jeremy Grant to start the season probably will be in that starting lineup for Portland with Anthony Simons and with DeAndre Ayton. Okay, that's probably how they're going to go. And, and then you have Sharp and Scoot and others off the bench. Kind of a sexy little look. And then you'll have Klingon off the bench. Okay, let's go, Portland. Let's see what y'all can do with all the chips in the middle of the table for a full year. This season for Camara was a huge success, cemented himself in that starting five, was a huge part of the ascent of the Blazers to be competitive and kind of knock on the door of the play-in tournament. He was a huge, huge part of that. And so his career is going like this right now. If you took him in dynasty drafts, and you've kind of been hanging in there, well done. Well spotted, well scouted. You were patient. Now you're getting the pop. That's what it's all about, man. And yes, I expect more from Toumani Camara next year. Not a ton more, okay, because you got a lot of other guys that are going to eat and take shots and usage rate and stuff like that. But he's still going to be a great source of threes and steals and have a decent PRA. Right? So I don't see a huge spike next year, Doc. I think this year was the spike year, and next year his is going to build on it a little bit. All right, I want to tell you guys about our leagues. We want you to join our leagues. So, for example, if you're out there right now, like me, and you want to get into WNBA fantasy leagues, okay? Next week, I'm going to have a WNBA fantasy episode for you all. Me and Andre are working on that right now. And I did a draft 2 nights ago. I'm going to do another draft tonight. And so we want to invite you to leagues that we sponsor, all right? We sponsor WNBA leagues. And what you do, you DM Andre at ANDM Lemouche, which is ELMOS, ANDMLEMOS on Twitter, or email us at support, not at support, but support at sportsethos.com. And we've got leagues, and you can get in with us and play with me and Doc and Andre and Brew and everybody here, okay, all of our experts. And then it's like a merging of, the experts and our fans. And you guys are experts out there. Heck, you're diving into our content all the time, which shows that you're feisty and competitive. And you're already smart coming into getting that content. And then after you get that content, now you are fantasy brilliant, okay? So let's ball. Let's get it on. We have these fantasy leagues, NBA, NFL, MLB, and we're psyched to be doing it for the WNBA as well. And just don't take Gabby Williams or Chelsea Gray or Brittany Griner late in these drafts. Okay, don't do that because they're mine. They're all mine. Love me some Gabby Williams coming into this year. All right, it is Cam. It is Doc. Doc chuckles at me right here. I'm a WNBA nerd. What can I say, bro?
I don't know if I'll be playing in the WNBA leagues with our people, with our listeners. I don't know anything about it.
Afraid to take that L?
I'm not afraid. I just don't
afraid to take that L, son. Doxson, he is literally one of the most hyper competitive guys on earth and that I've ever dealt with. And I have, Doc, NBA TV, NBA. I've worked with a million ball players. I've worked with Rick Mahorn and Steve Smith and Shaq and Barkley, like some of the most competitive guys of all time. And Doc, you are in an elite level of competitiveness. I don't know, dude. What I would say, guys, the WNBA is a small league. There's still like 14 teams. I'm telling you right now, if you dedicate 2 hours of a research study to the WNBA, matching like stats with a depth chart, just put the stats on the depth chart. Boom. You'll get to know every player and you're good. A 2-hour research study, I bet. And Doc, I'm not giving you an assignment or anything. You can do what the hell you want to do. I'm telling the people out here, if you're like Doc and I just really don't know the league, I'm telling you, a 2-hour research study, not mock drafts, like dig into the teams and the stats of the players for 2 hours. And then maybe do a mock draft. I don't believe in mock drafts. Doc, we've been doing this too long. And mock drafts for me are a waste of time. But people learning and wanting to figure it out, do some mock drafts. All right. 13 teams in the WNBA, and they're expanding. Go ahead. What's up?
Are you going to put out a mini WNBA draft guide, or maybe your top 100, 150 list?
Again, me and Andre are working on that. There won't be a 150 list, I can tell you that, because there aren't that many players. Like I did an ESPN draft the other night, and there's 6 teams, all right, like 6 fantasy teams. So the leagues are small, man, and it goes to 54 picks. So you have an 8-person roster. Let me think. It's 9. Actually, it's a 9. It's 2 guards, 3 bigs, a U, and then 3 bench players. So 6 teams, 9 players a team, 54. So I can do a like top 60 ranking to include some of the ladies on the bubble. Yeah, I could definitely do that.
If we do that, I'll draft a couple WNBA teams.
Andre, did you hear this? This is on record right here. He said, I do a ranking, and I will give you the ranking, Doc. You can.
Somebody gives me a cheat sheet.
You can snipe me with my picks, man. I can tell you right now, I'm super, super high on Kelsey Plum and Kalia Copper of Phoenix. I can tell you that right now. I've been screaming about it over on the WNBA show that I do. Love Kelsey Plum in LA, and Kalia Copper without Diana Taurasi is going to go bing. Anyway, love it, and I'm psyched about the WNBA. But this is an NBA show. So, Doc, let's get back to Dereck Lively here as we talk about, just to reset, second-year players. These are players drafted in 2023. We're excluding Chet from this conversation just to make it easier for all of us because he obviously had the booted rookie year with the injury. And this is for 8 cat per game. And we're looking ahead to next year and also evaluating was this year a success or a failure. So, Dereck Lively, Doc, ADP of 109, all right, and then ended with a ranking of 117. That's kind of cool to see. I like when guys stay static with that. Key stat, same player, Doc, in both seasons. And that's why I do a little stat study before we go to the show here, because I want to see if guys made an improvement or decreased. Lively was literally the same guy. 9 points, 7 boards, 1.5 blocks, 23 minutes. All of that was the exact same. So was this season a success or a disappointment? And take me to next year on Lively.
Well, I'm going to need a free Dereck Lively t-shirt because he's got people in his way, man. It reminds me a little bit of a much better threesome than what Orlando has at point guard. They've got Anthony Black and they've got Cole Anthony and they've got who's the old guy that's been there forever? Cody, the heck's his name? Who's the guy?
Jared Dudley. What are you talking about? Player?
Corey Joseph. Starting Corey Joseph over Anthony Black and Cole Anthony is a disgrace to basketball. So in Dallas, you've got Dereck Lively and you've got Daniel Gafford. And now you have Anthony Davis. Like that's 3 big men, and not to mention PJ Washington and Kai Jones and Dwight Powell. I mean, that's too many bigs for one team. It's sort of like the Pacers had too many forwards every year, and Dallas has too many centers. Like, I wish they just had Lively or they just had Gafford and then those other guys, because as it stands, all they do is cancel each other out every night. I love Lively's game. I think he's gonna have a nice long career and be a good player. I guess you call last year a success, but it could have been so much better if he was allowed to play, 30 minutes a night and have the job to himself.
Failure. I say his season was a failure. There's no improvement here. That's a problem for me. I mean, you didn't even go from 9 points to 10 points, from 7 boards to 8 boards. No improvement at all. Same exact minutes. That's all an L. That's all failure for me. I don't dislike Dereck Lively. I'm with Doc. I think if he's playing 30 minutes, I mean, he's a double-double guy. He's a 2-block-per-game guy. Like, we'd be liking him more than Nick Claxton. Okay? Like, we'd probably be liking him more than Jared Allen. And I love Jared Allen, but I think there's more block. Well, I know there's more block upside with Dereck Lively. So I say, you know what? I'm using failure. Let me not use failure. The season wasn't a failure. Let me use disappointment. Okay, so let me reel that in. The season was a disappointment, not a success. Am I expecting more from him next season? No, I'm not. I want to, like I should feel, but no. Daniel Gafford is still there. Lively will probably start. And if it's been static these 2 years, why would it change? They have the same coach, Jason Kidd. So, no, I think Dereck Lively is going to be the same disappointing fantasy player next year. Doc, Cason Wallace, ADP undrafted, finished the year at 123 because of the goodies. Very Keon Ellis-esque because the PRA sucks for Cason Wallace. Don't even look at it. It's garbage, okay? And the problem is, Doc, as I give you the key stat, he took 7 shots per game in 27 minutes. Think about that. Not even 10 shots a game. I bet if you looked at every guy in the league that averaged 27 minutes a game last year, 90% of them, maybe more, took 10 or more shots per game. He took 7. 1.1 threes and 1.8 steals, and that's really the generation of his value. Season a success or disappointment, and what do you expect from him next year?
I think it was a success. Nobody expected him to do much this year. And every time somebody was injured at OKC, he picked up the slack. And usually, he started 43 games. What's funny is if you look at his starting numbers versus his off the bench numbers, they're essentially the same. The PRA is garbage and the steals are there and et cetera. But I mean, Cason Wallace was fun. And if Jalen Williams is being stifled and held back because he plays behind SGA, then what's happening to poor Cason Wallace? I mean, the fact the guy even sees the floor for that team that had, he was arguably better than Alex Caruso. So to me, that's a win. As far as the future goes, like Cason Wallace, if he's available at the end of my draft next year, I'll give him a look. I'm not going to be targeting him anywhere.
So, Doc, Cason Wallace is completely off my fantasy radar. I love him in reality. I think he's going to get a ring this year with OKC, and he's going to help them get that ring. The season was a success. I agree. I mean, an end season ranking of 123, coming in an undrafted guy, 1.8 steals, which was right up there with the in the race for number 2, distantly from Daniels, of course. But I say success, and I am not expecting more from him next year. Let's talk Keyonte George, Doc. ADP of 120, finished the season ranking 127th per game, 8 cat. And the key stat, he went from 13 points a game to 17 points a game. And he went up to 2.6 threes. But, Doc, he only started 35 games. So talk to me about Keyonte George. Success, disappointment, and what about next year?
Well, and the thing that Brewski does not like about this guy is his field goal percentage. And it stayed exactly the same at 39.1. You know, I don't love it, but the fact is scoring went up to 17 points a game, and he had 4 boards, almost 6 assists, 0.7 steals, plenty of threes, 2.6 triples. I think the future's pretty bright, man. If they can reel this kid in and he can learn about shot selection and efficiency, which I don't know if he can do that or not, but man, there's a lot of potential here with him and Isaiah Collier. So I don't think it was a screaming success, but I'm not going to call it a failure either. He showed significant improvement in a lot of places, and that's what I'm looking for. You know what? I am going to call it a success. The poor shooting is the only thing really holding him back.
I'm going to call it a disappointment, Doc. He lost his starting job, and I don't think he's getting it back. And that is going to create a buzzkill and a ceiling on his fantasy value. Yes, he made upticks. No, I don't care about the 39%. Couldn't care less about it. But he lost his starting job. And this is where reality and the rubber meets the road for fantasy. If you're coming off the bench, you don't have an anchor to minutes. You kind of do, but if you're a starter, you have way more of an anchor, a way heavier, larger anchor to minutes than you do as a bench player. That to me is just critical. And again, a lot of the stuff that Doc and I say, it's stuff that we have groomed and learned and developed and you know, I don't know whatever verb to put on there, over 30, 40 years of doing this. You just know that that's just not conducive. It's not. There may be exceptions to that and ripple waves, but by and large, you want starters over bench players. You just do. So I say not a failure, but a disappointment that he lost his starting job. The stat increases were nice. About next year, am I expecting more from him? Not really. He's going to be a bench player. To me, if you're coming off, and he played about 31 minutes off the bench, but if you're at 17 points, 2.6 threes in 31 minutes, like where are we going from that? I just don't see a lot of north upside from that. I think Keyonte George is going to be a lot like he was this year, next year. Bilal Coulibaly, Doc, your guy. ADP of 139, end season ranking an 8 cat per game of 130. So again, pretty darn close. Key stat for you, Doc, 33 minutes per game. Huge. All right. He started every game he played, so he's anchored in that starting 5 now. He went from 8 points to 12 points, and he averaged 1.3 steals and 1.1 threes. Coulibaly, success, disappointment, take me to next year.
Well, first of all, back to our guy Keyonte George, 31.5 minutes a game. Yes, he's not starting, but those are starters' minutes. So I'm not as worried about him not starting as you are. I just want to throw that. I mean, if a guy's getting starters' minutes and finishing games, I don't really care if he starts or not.
Please.
Generally, go ahead.
Please take Keyonte George in the 3rd round of 30 deep next year. Jump into that pool. Take Keyonte. Get a little tickle for Keyonte George. Take him in the 3rd round of 30 deep next year.
I might do it. I don't care. Where is Coulibaly? Why is he not on the ESPN depth charts, man? When they got a guy listed as injured now, he's just gone off the face of the earth. I don't really know. I need to talk to somebody about that. Coulibaly, I don't think I'm ready to call him a success because I think the expectations were out there that he was going to have a really good year. And he didn't really have a great year. He had an okay year. But I still like Bilal Coulibaly. You call it my guy. He's not really, wouldn't really call him my guy because I didn't really draft him anywhere last year. And he wasn't on my list. But man, I like the potential, dude. He's got so much defensive potential. He had 0.7 blocks, 1.3 steals, 1.1 threes. Like, that's good. He had 12 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. That's good. Shoots it not great from either the line or the field. And that's the reason his value is held back a little bit. But I mean, I would call him a success just because he did what we thought he was going to do. You know, his ADP was 130 and he finished, or 139, he finished 130. You know, a lot of these guys don't meet their ADP. So if you meet your ADP, you at least did what we thought you were going to do.
I say success because he is now anchored. It's like Toumani Camara. He's now anchored in the starting 5. And he didn't help the Wizards win, but he did have a stat ascension, started every game, played pretty big minutes. And you know, he's a top 10 draft pick, so they're invested in him and all that kind of stuff. I thought he was overdrafted by Washington. I wasn't as hot on Bilal Coulibaly coming into the draft. I thought he was overdrafted because of playing with Wemby. I like him. I don't love him. So I say the season was a success. I probably will have no shares of Bilal next year. And that's just where I'm at. I'm expecting a little bit better stats. Young guy. I believe this will be year 3 for him next year. It'll be year 3. We're talking about second-year players. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of an uptick, but we're not talking about most improved player of the year here. I think Bilal Coulibaly's numbers are going to look very similar to what they did this year. Last guy, Doc, talking about second-year guys drafted in 2023, 8 cat per game ranking. ADP for Brandin Podziemski was 117. Thank you, Steve Kerr, because his end season value was 141. That's not Podziemski's fault. That's your boy Kerr's fault. Not Doc, but all you Dubs fans out there, including Aaron Brewski. Key stat for Poj. He went from 9 points a game to 12 points a game, 1.8 threes, 1.1 steals. Success, disappointment, take me to next year.
Like you said, man, this is all on Steve Kerr. In the playoffs, right? The regular season play-in tournament, 28 minutes for Podziemski in that game. 35 minutes in game 2, 35 minutes in game 1, 14 minutes in game 2 against Houston, 33 minutes in game 3, and 40 minutes in game 4. Like, all of a sudden now he's playing massive minutes. He played big minutes the last 2 weeks of the season in April. But if you look before that, man, January, the minutes were way down. December, he had 2 games in the 30s. Everything else was in the teens or the 20s. And it's frustrating because I think we all thought that Podziemski was going to take a big step this year, and he really didn't. But like you said, it's not his fault, man. His minutes were paltry to start the season. In November, he got 22 minutes a game in November. It's despicable. 24 minutes a game in December. Ridiculous. 23 a game in February. But now that March got here and it was 31 minutes a game. Anyway, the minutes went up at the end of the year. So I don't know what's going to happen next year. I don't know if Steve Kerr is going to decide that Podziemski's his guy and play him next year. Or if he's not, if he's going to mess with him again. And until I know that, I can't really make any kind of reach for Podziemski.
I agree with everything you said, bro. Kerr, we just don't trust you, bro. We just don't trust you. And it's maddening. Doc, we should be on the Podziemski bandwagon. We should be like, oh, yeah, Podziemski next year, locked and loaded. He should be, all right? But you're playing with Butler, you're playing with Steph, you're going to be the third fiddle at best. And, there's going to be a cap on what you can do. So, he's not getting to 16 points a game. It's just not going to happen. He could get to 13 or 14, but I would expect a little bit of a stat increase next year, assuming he plays, wire-to-wire steady minutes. I wouldn't take that to the bank. How about this year? I'm going to say disappointment. We did get the stat increases that I talked about, but the fluctuating role probably sent him to waivers off your team, and then you see him kind of spike back up on somebody else's team because Kerr duped you, and so that's all disappointing stuff. So that's where I'm at with Podziemski, but I do like him. I think he's a Dante DiVincenzo clone. So, Doc, let's talk playoffs for a minute. Let's talk Western Conference playoffs. We will not talk OKC and Memphis. The series is over, broom style. And let's go to Denver and the Los Angeles Clippers. Last night, Doc, Denver got a huge win in Game 5. And predictably, who was hiding from the ball. I mean, we're talking late in the fourth quarter. The Beard, who was not cooking up a damn thing last night, was at 6 shots. Go ahead. Talk to me about Nugs and Clippers, Doc.
Well, I was on the radio yesterday, and they wanted to know what was going to happen in that game. And I said, first of all, I don't understand why the Clippers keep being favored at Denver, because they shouldn't be favored at Denver to start with. I don't understand why that happens. And I said on the radio, my boy Rick Kamla loves talking about how Harden chokes, and Game 5 of a playoff series is about when Harden starts to choke. And I don't know if it was a choke or just a no-show, but 3 of 9 shooting in Game 5 for James Harden. 11 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. I mean, if you guys listen to Rick and play the under on the Harden stuff, you won a bunch of money, because in Rick's eyes, it was obvious that it was going to happen. It wasn't even a debate in his mind. And then suddenly we got a Bogey Bogdanovic sighting, which was weird. And we got a easy Nuggets win in the process. Aaron Gordon, very good again. Jokic was kind of quiet, 13, but he had 10 points and 12 boards or 12 assists. And then Jamal Murray, playoff Jamal Murray is bigger than playoff Jamal Jimmy or playoff Jimmy. Playoff Jamal Murray, his scoring differential between the regular season and the postseason is massive, and he just comes to play in the playoffs. So 43 points for Jamal Murray. He kind of drove that train, and then Christian Brown is out there just kind of getting in people's faces, putting up double-doubles and balling out. Denver looks really good.
Doc, a lot of people are going to be expecting James Harden to pull out of it, right, for Game 6. He's back home. It's a big game. It's a death game. And Doc, it's like, what I don't understand is, how am I'm not going to say the only one, but how am I feel like I'm on an island over here. James Harden is about to choke, and people are like, I don't know, how is everybody not hip to this? It's the most obvious angle in our sport, Doc. The most obvious angle in our sport. James Harden sucking in games 5, 6, or 7 of a playoff series. Dude, it's automatic. It's fucking automatic. I want to go back to Jamal Murray, Doc. We talk about a wetter, right? Steph's got a wetter. Clay's got a wetter. Dirk had a wetter, right? Ray Allen had a wetter. All this kind of stuff. Bro, when Jamal Murray's on a heater, it's as wet as it gets. It is as wet as it gets. I love the way the ball comes off his hand. And it's just it's kind of like on the move and drifting, and he's just in the zone. You know what I'm saying? That was really fun to watch last night. And I think Denver's a really, really live dog in Game 6 because James Harden. I won't do the choke gesture again. I know that it's kind of a thing now. They said last night on the broadcast that Jamal Murray has the biggest differential from regular season to postseason scoring of all time. I didn't look that up. I know Andre's going to have the goods on that in 3, 2, 1. But they were saying that last night. So that's what I got on that series. Denver, I said going in, Denver's going to win this series because James Harden is going to choke. So far, that's holding up. Minnesota and LA, Doc, are your Lakers Dunsky?
One game at a time over here.
Dunsky.
One game at a time over here, Rick.
Not a choke gesture, but the throat slash. Oh, did I get a taunting call? Did I just get a taunting tech, Doc, for the throat slash?
We got it.
The series is over. What's that?
We got to get a dub tonight. And all we got to do, and I say all the Lakers have to do is get a win tonight. And then we'll figure things out from there. But
hilarious.
Man, Luka needs to step up, man. Like, the numbers have been fine.
Luka? Austin Reeves needs to step up, bro.
Where did Austin Reeves go? Like, he was so good all year. Like, so good all year. Like, I kept waiting for Austin Reeves to not be good, but he just was good all year. And then, like, the last 3 games, this series, he just crawled into a hole. So I don't know. And Luka just needs to play a little bit of defense. I mean, even a Luka whisperer like myself can watch the game and be like, "Come on, Luka, play some defense, brother." And then the foul, I'm still mad about the foul. LeBron's foul on Anthony Edwards. LeBron was like, "I was always told the hand was part of the ball." Me too, brother. Me too. Bogus. Lakers, it should be 2-2. But whatever.
Well, maybe they got that built-in karma like Detroit had. Detroit got screwed on the Tim Hardaway Jr. Call, and then went to the Garden and extended the series. So maybe, I mean, look, I think we'll get to the ATS in just like a couple of seconds here, but I think the series is over, but that doesn't mean that the Lakers can't win tonight. But the Lakers aren't coming out of a 3-1 hole against a team that's better than them. The Wolves have 8, and the Lakers have 3.5 with Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and Rui. And then what? DFS, Gabe Vincent. I mean, what? I mean, give me a break, dude. So Minnesota got him. That series is ultimately over. Golden State and Houston, Doc. You know what? Houston has been like in this, dude. And they're getting lessons here and all that kind of stuff. But dang, came really close the other night. But it's 3-1, Doc. It's back in Houston for Game 5 tonight. Again, we'll talk about that ATS here in a minute. Give me some, a helicopter view down on this series. What are you seeing?
Podziemski's been great. Playoff Jimmy is happy again now that he's not in Miami. By the way, I don't think we've mentioned that final game that Miami played. I've never seen anything so disgusting in my life. Like, Pat Riley is rolling in his grave, even though he's not in a grave yet. Eric Spoelstra is probably just sick. Like, what? That is a team that does not care. They just wanted to go to Cancun, and that was absolutely pathetic. And and I was appalled because I thought Miami had a chance to hang with Cleveland in that series. I've been saying all year Cleveland's not as good as everybody thinks they are, but then they go out and do that. So anyway, sorry about that soapbox. I guess we're talking about that tomorrow. Podziemski's been good. Kerr's been playing the right guys. Gary Payton's been good. Curry's been good. Jimmy and Draymond have been good. Like, the Warriors are just playing good basketball. They have just enough guys to be able to put 5 or 6 good players on the court at all times. And they're just teaching the Rockets lessons. But, man, the Rockets are good and they're fun. And I got on the radio, was like, is Giannis going to Houston? Is KD going to Houston? I was like, I hope not, man. I want Houston to just keep building on what they have. They don't need to add an older superstar to the mix to get to the next level. They just need experience. So very enjoyable series, and I'm all in on the Warriors at this point.
I mean, it's hard not to be. They're going to win this series. The series is over. They're up 3-1. They won the series the other night in Game 4. Absolutely broke the hearts of the Rockets, who were in that game. And Fred VanVleet got a pretty good look on that 3-ball from the right wing at the end of the game, and you lose, and it's 3-1. And and so Draymond with the wolfing and all that. Houston might win Game 5. It's like the Lakers and Wolves series. Like, yeah, I mean, the Rocks may win tonight at home and prolong the series, but Golden State's moving on to round 2. I think Minnesota's moving on to round 2. And guess what? They will play each other. The winner of the Denver-LA series is going to play Oklahoma City. And I would not say either way that would be a great series. I think OKC and Denver is going to be a bloodbath, but I would OKC and the Clippers, it would be a 5-gamer, maybe a 6-gamer, but I would probably say OKC in 5. All right, Doc, let's get to the ATS pickage for tonight. Houston and Golden State. And I looked at these lines last night, so let me see if this has changed. It was 4. So do you like, and it's still 4, do you like Houston -4? Or are you taking the points with Golden State?
I think I'm taking the points with Golden State. Anytime you've got the better team getting points, I feel like you should take it. And Golden State's better than Houston. They just are. And I've got them at 4.5 is what I saw. And yeah, it's at Houston, but I don't think it matters. I think Dre and Curry are like, let's not mess around here and have to come back home. Like, let's go get this done. So I got the Dubs plus 4.5, and I got the Lakers in a must win. If Luka and LeBron thing doesn't want to look like a total failure, a must-win game, giving up 6.5 points at home, I'm going with my Lakers.
I mean, I don't know where you're getting your lines, bro. I'm on DraftKings right now, live, and it's -4 and Lakers -5.5.
ESPN bet is 6.5 Lakers.
Well, they're all priced out, bro. ESPN bet is all priced out. Maybe they're ahead. I don't damn know, nor do I care. It is what it is. You guys do what you want with these numbers, man. I mean, monetize them. Here's my deal, though. Houston -4. Doc. This one's going to be a live betting joint for your boy. And probably not till the second half, because in live betting for me, it's about the moment of truth. That moment where you know what's going to happen in the game. Pounce. But it's hard to gauge when you know that. You've really got to lock in with the game. You can't be getting up for pee breaks and go make a sandwich and go out on the stoop and have a cigarette. No, watch the game. You got to watch the whole game, okay? And so I'm going to be live betting this one, Doc. I'm going to be live betting this one. I want to see Houston, okay? Like, how bad do you want this? Because they won, was it game 2 at home, right? And Şengün and Green played really well, and it was like a love fest and all that. I kind of feel like tonight might be that for Houston. And I feel like they've been so close. They're kind of due for a breakthrough. They've already learned some lessons. Now you put all that to work, and you win a home game, and then you go to Golden State and you lose, and your season's over. That's kind of how I see this going. But I'm not betting -4 going in. I feel like it's too naked. I don't want to do that. I like having control over it. And even if I got to take Houston -5.5 and give up 1.5, I want to watch the game and get that confidence and feel good about it. That's just kind of how I'm operating right now. It's better, Doc. Lakers -5 against Minnesota. I'm not on it pregame. Again, I want to see this. I want to see if Minnesota's greedy and if Minnesota has that look, Doc, where they're like, okay? And Ant-Man does Ant-Man have a 15-point first quarter? Doc, because if Ant-Man has a 15-point first quarter, this baby might be over, okay? He may just be like, yo, I'm going Jordan on this thing. And he's a little bit too fleeting with that to me. He should just turn that on and leave it on. but he doesn't. And he kind of comes and goes in and out of that thing. Game 4, he was in Jordan mode, okay? If he's in Jordan mode again, the Lakers are in trouble. So I'm going to be evaluating this one for some live betting. But I do have a lean to the Lakers. I will give you that, okay, guys? They're due to win one. The Lakers, others probably will rise. It's just kind of how it goes after the Game 4 fiasco and J.J. Redick playing only 5 guys in the second half. You're probably going to see Gabe Vincent, DFS, I don't even know who the hell else they play, playing a little bit better. And Rui Hachimura might have a 20-point game. I believe LeBron and Luka are going to be on steroids tonight, okay? Not literally. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying they're going to be like nuclear tonight. Reeves is super due. We talked about that. And do the Wolves fall prey to the game-in-hand theory? Well, we're up 3-1. We got Game 6 at home. Do we really need this game? So that's another thing that I'm going to evaluate with the live betting piece is I want to see that that's not the case, and I fear that it might be the case. All right, Doc, how about prop bets tonight? Who you got?
Real quick, Jade McDaniels over 13.5 points. He's gone 25, 8, 30, and 16 in 4 games. Luka over 3.5 threes. He attempts 8 threes a game. He's due to hit half of them. Anthony Edwards over 28.5 points because I feel like he's going to flip the Jordan switch tonight. Jabari Smith over 8.5 points. He scored at least 9 in 42 of his 63 games this year. And scoring average went up when he moved to the bench up to 12.7. So that seems like an easy number for Jabari to hit. Jalen Green over 8.5 rebounds and assists because they're kind of containing him scoring wise on most nights, but I think he's going to get the other goodies. I think he averaged 10 of those through the first 3 games of this series.
That is Steve Alexander, Hall of Famer. Well done, bro. Well done. All right, Ricky Props is in here now. Doc, like Jalen Green over 16.5 points. Principle of due, bounce back factor, both in play. Another factor in play, they're talking about you with the black fingernails and you and Draymond and the fact you've sucked in most of these games. They're talking about you. That's going to lead, I think, to a huge motivational game. Obviously, it's also a death game for Houston. His only big game in this series was at home. This is a home game. He's been an up and down home run hitter type of player all year, okay? Going from 5 points to 30, going from 20 points to 10, back to 35. He just takes you on a roller coaster ride. I like his over tonight. Alperen Şengün over 19.5 points. The 4 games in this series, he has gone 26, 17, 15, 31. And is he going to have 31 again? Nope, he's coming back down to earth from that. But will he be in the 20s? I believe he will be in the 20s tonight. So I will go over on 19.5 for Alperen Şengün. We are done, folks. It is Rick Kamla. It is Steve Alexander. And big shout out to our great producer, Andre Lemouche. Big shout out to all of you for watching. Really appreciate y'all. We're going to be hitting you on Thursday with the second part of this episode, the second-year players, 8 cat ranking per game, and looking at this year and then looking ahead to next year. On Thursday, that will drop. At Ethos Fantasy NBA, at Dr. A, at Rick Kamla Sports as well. Guys, hit up the website, go to sportsethos.com, read Doc's content, read my content, MLB, NFL, and NBA as well. We got you. We got dynasty coverage. We got redraft coverage. We've got everything going on over there for you. And download the app. Go to your favorite app store and download the Sports Ethos app. It'll be right there for your left thumb to peruse. We are out, folks. Again, Thursday, watch for part 2 of this episode. And this episode right here is brought to you by Bet Online.